Elon Musk is the greatest Reddit king of all time, the overlord, the Reddit philosopher, the meme lord, the rocket scientist, the amazing car salesman, okay? He's great. I mean, do you see that one time when he sent the New York Times a poop emoji?
And it's like, look, that's a wise move because...
That's a wise move. So today, I'm going to go over my top 1,000 billion reasons why we love and need and don't deserve Elon Musk being as based and keck-pilled as he truly is. The next thing I wanted to get into is that a lot of people are still covering Elon's absolute meltdowns, okay? And I would be remiss to miss a Too Lazy to Try video because he's, I'd say, probably one of my favorite commentary channels right now. And he just did a video about Elon's meltdown, and I thought it would be funny to take a look at this and cover it because he generally does a good job in condensing a lot of different information for different areas of the internet and putting it all together.
All right, so Elon Musk has been completely spiraling out of control recently, and now I think pretty much everybody, except for his diehard Sims, are starting to realize he's the biggest man-child on the planet.
Dude, this picture's so good. This picture is amazing, dude. Absolutely beautiful. You can see his weird effed up body under his shirt there, but dude, what a picture. This is your God Emperor. This is your king, dude. Come on, man. Come on, dude. This blows. Yeah, look at his belt. Look at his cringe Texas belt as if he gives a fuck. Dude, this blows. Even his fit, even everything about him has just got to go. He's got to go. It looks like a fake image. Like if you had shown this to me 5 years ago, I would think that if AI was around back then with the image generation software, I would think that it was AI. But no, instead, this is just a real picture of him at an actual rally.
So things really started to implode when his Trump supporter fans started turning on him, when he tweeted that we need more skilled immigrants coming into the country on the H-1B visa.
Ooh, this was not a big hit. This was not a big hit with the Elon, maybe not the broad Elon audience, but with a lot of the Elon audience, this is not a big hit. This is why Sam Hyde made that Dear Elon video where he criticized him for encouraging immigration, basically. That's what this all came down to. It didn't go very well. And after that, Elon Musk just had an absolute meltdown about it.
Because he claims there aren't enough talented and motivated engineers here. And he obviously just wants to hire cheaper employees. So this really pissed off Trump fans and people on the...
No, dude. Elon Musk wants to do the right thing, man. Elon Musk wants to help Americans. He wants to help everyone, dude. He's not a weird, cringe lol cow. He's a good fucking guy. He's helping out the common man, dude, just like Mark Zuckerberg. He's helping out the common man. Did you see the Constitution on the whitehouse.gov website was taken down today? It gives you a 404 error when you go to view it. I assume that was a mistake. I assume that was some kind of mistake. I don't want to draw too many conclusions there. I assume that was kind of a mistake. I'm hoping that's a mistake. Even Bernie Sanders is calling him out. You have both the far right and the far left. Elon Musk is wrong. The main function of the H-1B visa program is not to hire the best and the brightest, but rather to replace good-paying American jobs with low-wage indentured servants from abroad. The cheap labor they hire, the more money the billionaires make. Billionaires and millionaires and billionaires. Elon Musk is wrong. The main function of the H-1B visa program is not to hire the best and the brightest, but rather to replace good-paying American jobs with low-wage indentured servants from abroad. The cheaper the labor they hire, the more money the billionaires make. Everybody's chiming in. You know when you have Sam Hyde and Bernie Sanders agreeing on an issue, you've said something that has truly upset the populace.
On the left, like pretty much everybody, except for people who hire H-1B visa workers. So then somebody commented on Elon's post about it and said that their son has an engineering degree and it's like impossible for him to find a job because of that program.
My son graduated with honors with electrical and computer engineering degrees in 2023. He cannot get an interview, let alone a job. Any white male he knew in college can't get jobs either. Many are currently working in data center jobs that don't require their education. It seems like a lot of young dudes who are graduating from college right now are very, I guess, kind of feeling black-pilled about the future and how things are going to go. Even in my personal life with my buddies that, I was in high school with, who obviously I dropped out of college, but they went to college and they're now, graduating. I would have, if I had continued with college, I would have graduated pretty recently. A lot of them are feeling very black-pilled about the future and unsure about if their education will secure them any kind of real employment. My best buddies from high school, because I'm a freaking nerd, okay, they're all doing very well. Because they are absolute white boy geniuses like me. But a lot of people are being very disenfranchised in the idea of the American future. I don't think that's an unvalid opinion to have. Housing prices are so fucking high. Jobs aren't paying enough for it. Like, I'm in such a fortunate position where I have a house, but the money I make compared to the work I do is so astronomically fucking absurd. Being a normal person right now is okay in some cases, but for a lot of people, it feels very
And they ratioed Elon's tweet about it, and then their account got suspended. So then Elon just
Dude.
And they ratioed Elon's tweet about it, and then their account got suspended.
Free speech guy, by the way. Free speech guy who suspends people who ratio him for talking about these issues. Elon Musk is so sensitive, he's so thin-skinned, and even beyond that, he constantly betrays his principles in favor of trying to get as much fucking attention as possible and trying to get as much respect as possible. He cannot fucking handle opposing viewpoints. He cannot handle it. It's fucking embarrassing. Just graduated with a comp sci degree, can't even get an interview. Yeah, particularly in comp sci, that seems to be a particularly difficult place for a lot of people. I think probably a lot of it is because a lot of comp sci degrees are being outsourced to, the H-1B visa, but even beyond that, they'll just directly outsource to other countries is a big thing that's going on right now. So with specific degrees, I think people are going to have a hard time. And now if you're somebody who went to like law school and graduated for that, or you're like a doctor, I think those degrees are probably going to be protected in the short term because those are harder to outsource. But for sort of like stuff that's like more intellectual, but also there's a lot of people of that intellectual capacity who are capable of doing those jobs. I think a lot of that's going to be outsourced in favor of getting cheaper labor, which in fairness, that's a company's prerogative if they want to do that because they want to make as much money as possible. But at the same time, obviously, people are going to have a negative opinion about that if they are in that position where they feel left out. Musk body or McClung personality? Ugh. Probably McClung if I had to pick. I feel like looking like Elon Musk does is so rough, man. Stop foot stimulating my boyfriend, please, Tom. But his feet are so cute, and I love his piggly wiggly toes. Here's some doubloons for you. Thank you very much, dude.
So then Elon just kept doubling down on it, and he said the people that are against the H-1B visa can take a big step back and go F themselves.
The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. Even when like he's trying to make a point, which seemingly a lot of people could probably agree with, he's so cringe at doing it. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. Yeah, what do you mean by that? By censoring your opponents on Twitter? Is that what you mean by that? Like whether or not you agree with the people who Elon disagrees with, or whether or not you think that they should be censored. Like Elon, for how long has been talking about freedom of speech and how big of an issue this is? Meanwhile, now he's literally censoring people. Cringe lord, I feel like hypocrite doesn't even describe it. Like saying the word hypocrite is an understatement to the hypocrites. Like it's offensive to anyone who's ever been hypocritical out there.
He said he'll go to war on this issue, the likes of which we cannot comprehend. And apparently you do not want to mess with Elon. He's also previously said, there's a large graveyard filled with my enemies. I do not wish to add to it, but will if given no choice. Those who pick fights with me.
Dude, how Reddit can you be? His sense of humor is Reddit. The way that he deals with controversy is Reddit. There's a large graveyard filled with my enemies. I do not wish to add to it, but will if given no choice. Those who pick fights with me do so at their own peril, but maybe this is their lucky day. Yeah, like you owned Asmongold, dude. Like you absolutely destroyed Asmongold. Is that really what happened, bro? Literal internet tough guy energy from the wealthiest person or one of the wealthiest people in the world, okay? This guy should not be this sensitive. This guy has nothing to be sensitive about. He should not be this fucking sensitive.
Do so at their own peril, but maybe this is their lucky day. So it's just awesome hearing Elon try to act tough. You know, it's crazy. He's one of the most powerful and richest people on the planet and is still somehow not intimidating at all when he says stuff like this. And now Steve Bannon, he said him and Trump supporters are ready to go to war with Elon and they're going to rip his face off.
Don't come up and go to the pulpit in your first week here and start lecturing people about the way things are going to be. If you're going to do that, we're going to rip your face off.
Like Elon should not be in a war with these people. These are the people who he squeezed dry to get what he wanted, right? To help get Trump elected. And as soon as Trump is finally elected, Elon goes back on his word on everything. You cannot trust Elon Musk. You cannot trust Mark Zuckerberg. They do not have your best interest at heart. They are businessmen. And it's fine if you want to view them through that paradigm, but do not make the mistake of believing they are anything else. Any opinion that they give is not real. It is solely for their own benefit. And that's how a lot of humans act. And if they're honest about it, that's cool. But they're intentionally dishonest so they can manipulate public reputation around them to benefit themselves. And you just have to recognize that before you go into any kind of public discourse where you're talking about them. Apparently, Musk's game account was playing during the inauguration. Well, you have to understand, Musk is so good at gaming that he can simultaneously play Path of Exile on his phone, streaming to his fucking stream deck or some gay shit, while he's also at the presidential inauguration, clearly not on his phone at all, with his phone in his pocket while he's jumping up and down in the air in the shape of an X. That's clearly what's happening here. Why do cringe guys like samurai swords? Do you get one sent along with a fedora when you become a total weirdo? I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, samurai swords are actually pretty cool, and the samurai have a really cool and interesting history. So there's like nothing, like, It's fine, but it has become kind of a very Reddit thing in the past while because it's just so accessible, I guess. Hey, Tom, it was my birthday last week. Can I get a BBL Drizzy in your moist critical voice? BBL Drizzy, BBL Drizzy. Anyway, see ya. New slang, ants. If someone is ants, that means it's bad. Example, this class is so ants, bro. I mean, honestly, I don't think that's going to be catching on, much in the same way that Dan saying, what was it, Lil Gup? I don't think him saying Lil Gup as opposed to Lil Bro is going to be catching on. Maybe it will be. I've seen some people in my chat talking about Lil Gup. Apparently, we have a Destiny update. Cherry said, Destiny has blocked me and banned me and people supporting me from his community. I've not done anything besides ask him for an explanation, as I was assured this was something he didn't do to me. When I wasn't given one privately, I spoke publicly. I'm not involved in any lawsuit or coordinating with anyone seeking justice due to the leaks in November, although they have had my empathy and support in their efforts. It is only yesterday I became aware that Destiny had recorded me while we had sex without my consent, and with no regard for me, also shared that recording to others. 2 women now have let me know they have received sexual recordings taken of me in September 2023 without my consent. I thank them so much for their concern for me. No amount of public humiliation will ever make me regret being made aware of what was done. I will be filing a police report and pressing charges. So I guess she could be lying. We haven't seen direct evidence of that. Seems somewhat believable given the recent stuff about Destiny. Maybe he blocked her because he just doesn't want to talk to her, because he thinks that talking to her would only make him look worse, even though he hasn't done anything wrong. Maybe he blocked her because he's completely guilty, but we'll see what goes on with the Cherry thing. We haven't seen any direct evidence for that, but obviously I think a lot of people are going to be just totally believing this allegation based on the recent stuff, and that's the way the wind blows, and I don't totally blame them considering what's recently been coming out about Destiny. So that's our update. There. Musk should go back to anime RPing with Grimes. Probably the coolest thing he did was he got Amber Heard to, was it him or Johnny Depp that got Amber Heard to wear that Mercy cosplay? I think it was Elon, right? This is probably one of the coolest things he has done, to be honest. That is kind of fucking dope. Dude, you get one of the hottest women in Hollywood to dress like an Overwatch character. That is listen, not to be too much of a gooner here, but that is a bit peak. That is a bit peak, to be honest. I can't disrespect anyone who's saying that they need her in that regard. I don't even particularly like Overwatch, but in fact, I'd say Overwatch is probably cringe, but this is just this is just fire. This is fire. What can I say? This is fire. There's no doubt about it. We know it. I think everybody knows it, frankly. This is a good thing. This is a good thing that we like to see, and that everybody likes to see, in fact.
Because you can't beat us. We're not beatable. This army of the Awakened's not beatable because we're relentless, and we will never surrender, and we will never slow down. And yes, if you go low, we'll go to the center of the earth.
And now I saw some people on the left cheering on Steve Bannon, which is wild. But then after this whole controversy, Elon, he started going to war with these people by taking away verification status of people who disagree with him.
Is Elon Musk targeting X accounts against H-1B visas? Laura Loomer, others question loss of blue checks and subscribers. I'm actually curious to see that. Is Elon Musk targeting X accounts against H-1B visas? Laura Loomer, others question loss of blue checks and subscribers. Is Elon Musk trying to suppress free speech on X? A sudden surge in complaints on X, formerly known as Twitter, has raised concerns as many users are reporting a loss of their coveted blue check marks and a significant drop in subscribers. The recent appointments of Chennai-born Sriram Krishnan as Donald Trump's administration's senior policy advisor on artificial intelligence has reignited the debate over skilled immigration in the United States. American far-right political activist Laura Loomer has criticized Sri Ram Krishnan's appointment as Trump's AI advisor. Loomer accused Krishnan of betraying America First agenda, arguing that his support for removing country caps on green cards would disproportionately benefit workers from populous countries like India, disadvantaging American STEM graduates. Here we have a tweet from Laura Loomer saying, "Breaking, Elon Musk has removed my blue checkmark on X." That being said, it seems like Laura Loomer may have been wrong based on the community note, which reads, "This Twitter account recently changed their profile picture, which automatically puts your verified status under review, and thus you temporarily lose your checkmark. Secondly, the picture she provided as evidence quite literally shows her verified status as under review." So it does seem like Laura Loomer's being here specifically. So Laura Loomer may be full of shit. I'm going into the Army next week for satellite communications with a top secret clearance. I'll report back on the validity of the Destiny Fuentes relationship. The truth will be uncovered. Well, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate it quite a bit.
Which demonetizes them and I believe limits their reach and engagement. And then he also banned a bunch of accounts as well. And since Elon took over Twitter, account suspensions have tripled. And that's not including bots. Like, that's only real accounts. And it seems like the bot problem on there is worse than ever. Like, there's so many now.
Elon has banned more people in a year than Dorsey did during his entire tenure. We have a community note reading, did Elon Musk ban more accounts than before he took over? And they say yes. Under Elon Musk's ownership, X, formerly Twitter, has suspended more accounts than during Jack Dorsey's tenure. In 2024 alone, about 5.3 million accounts were suspended in 6 months, compared to 1.6 million over 13 years under Dorsey. Jesus Christ. Didn't he say he was not for censoring? Yeah, he did say that. Which is the fucking problem. That is the issue. He said he was against censorship, and then as soon as people start being mad at him, he bans all of them. Like, I don't think it's even an understatement to say, because I used to say, like, well, Twitter, is about as bad as it was before, just kind of flipped from being a left-wing hellhole to a right-wing hellhole. Now it's clear to me that it's probably just worse than it's ever been. It's just, if you agree with Elon, if you have a fucking cringe Doge Reddit profile picture and post memes sucking him off like Ian Miles Chung, then you get signal boosted. If not, you get banned. That's basically it.
And what's funny is after this whole H-1B visa controversy, Elon kind of tried to play it off like a lot of the accounts that were criticizing him were bots.
Joe Rogan, when you see arguments online, how many of these are real people with real opinions and how many are a giant block of accounts that have been purchased by a large organization hiring people or using AI to have arguments and incite things online? It's not 0%. Yeah, but the ironic thing about this Joe Rogan is that this problem only started once Elon Musk was owning Twitter. Like, were there bot accounts before? Certainly. But on Twitter specifically, the bot problem got so much worse as soon as Elon became the CEO of Twitter. And he says exactly, because he's trying to be like, oh, dude, it's all bots. There's so many bots arguing with me. Dude, there's not that many bots. The bots are probably bots that you fucking bought. I wouldn't be shocked at all. There are millions of real people who disagree with Elon Musk who are voicing their opinions, and you don't have to agree with them. You can say that they come from a racist camp. You can say they come from a bad ideology you disagree with. But that's not the point of what I'm saying. The point of what I'm saying is Elon is a massive fucking hypocrite. Opinion on Musk doing the German salute. I did see that. I mean, it seems to me like, I don't know. Was he intentionally doing it? I don't know. I would believe that he would do it just to drum up controversy. What I will say is it looks so much like he was doing it. It looks so much like he was. And I don't even I'm not going to have a fucking meltdown about it, but it looks like he was doing it. Like, it's such a distinct move. Like, it's such a distinct thing. Now, I will say, it's kind of a poor Roman, because typically you would have as somebody who's an expert on throwing up Romans, typically you would have your shoulders squared instead of doing it, like, out like this with, like, your whole body. You would have, like, your shoulders squared like this, and you would do it outright like that. As an expert on Romans who's thrown up quite a few in my time, I would know, obviously. But what I will say is it looks like it. It does look like it. I could believe that he doesn't know how to do it properly, and he thought he was doing that. But then he did this wave in the back, which makes me think maybe he was just being a total autist. So I don't know. I'm not that concerned with it, to be honest. Like, I honestly don't think that Elon Musk is a neo-Nazi. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Got all these accounts. Elon Musk, Nazi salute. See, look, Hitler clearly, has a better posture. He's got his shoulders squared here instead of what Elon was doing. Hitler had much better form, I would argue, as he should, as he is, not the originator of the Roman salute, but he is sort of a propagator in our modern times. So this woman says, grandson of Nazi party members Elon Musk throwing up Nazi salutes. Is Elon related to Nazis? Elon Musk is not known to be descended from Nazis, but some of his ancestors were Nazi sympathizers. Elon Musk's ancestors include Joshua Norman Haldeman, a Canadian chiropractor who moved to South Africa during apartheid. Haldeman was a political activist and Nazi sympathizer who ran for the Canadian Parliament. Musk's ancestors also include Winifred Josephine Wynne Fletcher, who was a Nazi sympathizer in Canada before moving to South Africa. Musk is of British and Pennsylvania Dutch ancestry. Okay, so it's kind of exaggerated to say that he's descended from Himmler, but he's at the very least descended from people who I guess had sympathies to the Nazis and were okay with them. But yeah, I honestly don't really think Elon Musk is a Nazi.
Accounts, which is just so funny.
If he was a Nazi, if he was such a convicted Nazi, he wouldn't be trying to import low-wage Indians so he could make money off of it, to be honest. A Nazi would not be pro-immigration, you know what I mean? A Nazi would not be pro-immigration and pro-non-white immigration. I don't think that really makes sense.
Because he's kind of admitting that his platform is full of bots. But Joe Rogan was talking about this on his podcast, and first he was talking about Elon, and he didn't directly mention the H-1B visa controversy, but it sounded like he was kind of alluding to it when he was talking about how a lot of the arguments online, he's like, how many of those are actually real people with real opinions? And then Elon retweeted this and said exactly, which is just insane considering he owns Twitter and he claims he's cracking down on the bot problem.
Because of that,
that, though, then you have to wonder, when you see arguments, how many of these arguments are real people and their real opinions, and how many of these arguments are this giant block of accounts that's been purchased by a large organization that is hiring people or using AI to have arguments with people and incite things online.
So my question would be, is this out of context, and is Joe saying this specifically in reference to Elon? Because Joe is an A1 Elon Glazer. He is like basically in love with him, and like that's one of the most cringe things about him, which sucks because I actually like Joe Rogan and I like his podcast quite a bit. I listen to a decent amount of his podcasts that have been like quite entertaining, partially because of him, partially because of the caliber of guests he's able to get on. But I do find it pretty cringe whenever he weighs in on like the intellectual dark web issues. I'm throwing a party tonight for Destiny's cancellation. First Kanye, now Musk. Does Trump have to have one autistic man who does weird Nazi stuff during each of his terms? You got to have one, dude. You got to have one. You got to have one. Hey, I can attest to it. You got to have at least one. I've got a couple. I mean, one is like, one is just one. What if you have two or three?
This right after his boy Elon gets criticized, because Joe is like the biggest Elon dick rider of all time. So then Elon retweeted this to try to convince people that most of the criticism towards him is coming from bot accounts, which is just so funny. And people in the comments, thankfully, were calling him out. And they're like, shouldn't you as the head of Twitter be handling this? Like, isn't this your problem? And people are like, don't try to play off the criticism of your H1B.
We're real, and you're going to have to hire Americans again. Shouldn't you as the head of X know the answer to this? P.S. The majority of the criticisms of your H-1B visa stance were authentic. Aren't you supposed to be taking steps to fix that on X to ensure that as many people, to ensure that as many of the accounts are legit as possible? Shouldn't that be the primary focus of X as a platform? It's something that gets set it apart from everything else. I mean, yeah, it should be, but once again, Elon does not give a shit. But before I go any further, today's video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the best energy drink in the freaking game. They've got a lot of really good flavors. It tastes great. It's way more affordable than other energy drinks or soda. And they also pay me, which is good because it's me. So be sure to use code TOM to get 10% off at gamersupps.gg. Just click the link down in that video description to tap in with the greatest chug juice ever. All right, now back to the video. I wonder how much of Elon's perspective is like genuine dishonesty, like he knows that they're not bots, or he's just convinced himself that they're bots because that's the only way he can cope with the fact that everybody hates him right now.
And then also in response to all this controversy, Elon had changed his profile picture to a Pepe the Frog meme.
Kekius Maximus? Oh, dude. Bruh, it's not 2016, bro. Dude. Kekius Maximus? Hello, Joe Rogan. Chatelet, my fellow Kekistanis. I would like to say hello to all of them. I'm extremely based today. I'm feeling... Joe, have you taken the red pill yet? Have you taken the red pill? Have you? Oh, you haven't? Well, you should really try it out. It's quite good. It's quite based.
For a few days to try to prove that he's still based or something. I think that's what's going on.
Hello, my fellow memers. Chatelet, my fellow memers. Have you seen this recent post about the cringe libtards, dude? It's quite... the libtards are gonna go, dude. Benjamin Aaron Shapiro has owned yet another libtard. My fellow based and red-pilled brothers, I'm just like you.
I don't even know, but he's so bad at handling controversy. Like also recently, he had the whole gaming community coming after him as well because he keeps trying to convince people that he's one of the best gamers in the world and he's always bragging about it. Like one of the last times he's on Rogan's podcast, he said he's like one of the top 20 Diablo players, which... I mean, most people with common sense would be like, that's pretty much impossible. Because usually to be one of the...
And I've come to a conclusion about this now that I've thought about it for a little bit, I've mulled it over. I think, actually, I would go as far as to say I know. I think I know that the reason why Elon did this is not because he cares that people think he's good at games, but it's because he wants to be relatable. He wants to seem like a relatable gamer or like a relatable billionaire who on one hand is a billionaire, runs all these companies, but also at the same time is like such a gamer and so in with the culture. He's in with the memes. Chatelet, my fellow Kekistanis, have you checked out Path of Exile 2? It's truly a great game. Because I'm a billionaire, I happen to be amazing at it.
So most people assume that he's just paying somebody to play as his character or whatever so they can level him up and he can take credit for it, which is just weird, but it wouldn't have been such a big deal if he wasn't going around bragging.
Out of all games, he picks Path of Exile. Well, it's because it's like such a fucking... It's like such a hardcore game. He wants to seem like a based, relatable, hardcore gamer, right? Like so much of what Elon does is like he wants to be seen as like simultaneously a billionaire, but also a part of this like very niche counterculture community of people who like post edgy, cool, Pepe-based Roman Emperor memes, plays like, the hip, cool, like plays like the hip, cool games that like only a super small dedicated amount of like real Reddit gamers play, right? That's basically it for him. That's the situation. Elon's just a chill guy who low-key don't GAF. So true, dude.
Thinking about it.
So are you in the top 20 in the world or
Yeah.
top 20? Wow, in Diablo.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everybody your handle?
You can kind of tell he's lying.
In the world or
Yeah.
top 20? Wow, in Diablo.
Yeah.
Look at him deciding if he wants to continue with this lie in real time. You can see it in his eyes.
Do you want to tell everybody your handle?
And of course, Joe never really questions anything Elon does, which is part of the problem. You know, the fact that so many people around him will just kiss his ass all day and never be honest with him, that really made him think that nobody would ever catch on to this stuff, you know, because he's so used to just everybody buying his bullshit all day.
This guy's in the president's ear. Not only is he in the president's ear, dude, he is a part of the government with the Doge Commission. And I mean, you know, I'm not a political expert. I don't know how well that's going to go. Maybe the Doge Commission will be the most game-changing thing of all time. But I'm going to come out and say that based on the name, I have no respect for it, and I think it's absolutely retarded. It's funny, dude. We actually made a part of the government that's called Doge. Dude, did you know how base it was when Elon said he would buy Wikipedia and change his name to Poop? He said he was going to change his name to Poop. I mean, that is truly funny and powerful. That is truly powerful.
I mean, he could say whatever he wants, and people are just going to eat it up. Like, even Joe's friend, Duncan Trussell, who seems like one of his more sensible friends, he started glazing Elon for this and is like, I finally believe he's an alien. There's no way a human could be running all those businesses and be one of the best Diablo players. And it's crazy because he even says he could be paying somebody, but obviously he's not doing that. So
He's just a liar, okay? If it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's probably Elon Musk. Pathological liar.
Duncan thinks it's more likely that Elon's an alien than him just paying somebody.
So when you realize this guy shooting rockets into space, making e-vehicles, starting a new fucking department of the government is also the top. It's so crazy. It's the one time I actually let myself think maybe he actually is an alien. Because
And these guys are so critical of like certain others in the media. They're so critical of certain other individuals out there, but refuse to be critical of Elon. It's like, oh, we just buy everything. He couldn't possibly be lying. I guarantee Joe Rogan will not on his podcast talk about the fact that Elon was clearly lying on his own podcast, on Joe's podcast, as part of where he lied about how good of a gamer he is. Okay. Not that like him lying about being a gamer is the most important misinformation in the world to call out, but it is important. You know, it is funny, and Joe will never talk about it ever. I'm sure he's heard about it. He will not talk about it.
Because there's just no way, unless he's paying people to do it for him, which obviously he's not. That is insane.
Obviously, he's not. It's obvious. It's so obvious that he's not paying people. How much more obvious could it be that he's not paying someone than during the inauguration, someone playing on his account? How more obvious could it be? It's so obvious, dude. He is honest and based and true and Archaikistani red-pilled warrior saving the West from sheer destruction. It is him. He is our king.
Man, that is insane. So
eventually Elon got busted when he's playing this game that he claimed to be one of the best players in the world at. And somebody who knows the game well reviewed it, and he's like, yeah, Elon really doesn't know what he's doing, which was pretty obvious. But I guess it's just hard to believe that somebody who already has it all, like money, fame, power, influence, still feels the need to trick people into thinking they're one of the best gamers in the world. I mean,
it is hard to believe, but it shows like how much he wants to manipulate the public. Because there are plenty of billionaires out there. Like Elon Musk is not the only billionaire, okay? There are other billionaires who have the money he has, who arguably have some of the influence he has within certain companies, right? Important industries that don't have as much of a public presence. But Elon loves the spotlight, and he wants to use it to his benefit to enact his will. Apologize for the burp. Stay hydrated, fellas.
and it seems like a silly controversy, but to think that a 50-year-old man is still that desperate and insecure is just insane. And of course, the way he handled the controversy just made it much worse, because this big gamer on Twitch, Asmongold, who Elon follows, he was criticizing Elon. So Elon got so butthurt about it, he leaked their DMs, and this was so embarrassing. He thought he was like exposing this guy for him lying.
Dude, how sad of a billionaire do you have to be? How sad must your life be as a billionaire, one of the richest men in the world, so many accomplishments, so many achievements, that you are getting into arguments with Asmongold? This should not be a concern of yours. No matter how annoying or terrible or retarded or much of a liar you are, you should not be getting into arguments with fucking Asmongold. And this links to the insecurity part, right? Elon simultaneously wants to be seen as billionaire, achiever, whatever, but also wants to be seen as like relatable gamer guy. So when he has Asmongold making fun of him to a bunch of that base, he has like a mental breakdown about it. He has like an absolute mental breakdown about it. You got offended by Asmongold. And I'm not saying that Asmongold will never make a good point, or he has never made an interesting point that is worth acknowledging. But what I am saying is like, it's Asmongold versus Elon fucking Musk. And Elon Musk is so insecure, he's allowed himself to be sunk to the same level as Asmongold in the public space. And now is lower in the eyes of the people who are aware of it. It's awesome.
About being like an independent creator. He said Asmon believes he's like a maverick, independent, but in reality, he had to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He is not his own man. And then he released these DMs where Elon was asking him if he could stream on Twitter, and he said he had talked to his editors about it. And then Elon responded and said, sure, who are your mysterious editors? And he explained to him that they're guys that help him run his YouTube account. Like they take clips from his stream and edit them and upload them to YouTube. So they're employees of his. But Elon, he took this like they're Asmongold's bosses or handlers or something, and he needs to get their permission on everything. So Elon is...
And like with this, I'm confused as to if Elon accidentally misunderstood what Asmon was saying, where he has YouTube editors that clip up his stuff and post it, or if it was like an intentional misunderstanding. I'm honestly inclined to believe, because he was so confident with the call out, that he's just retarded. I'm honestly inclined to believe that he is just a fucking idiot. I think that's probably what it is. I think he's so dumb that he couldn't understand that when Asmongold referred to editors, he didn't mean like a newspaper editor that dictates what he can and cannot say. And that's why he thought he had such a giant own on him when he leaked the DM. I think he's actually just that stupid, which is amazing. One of the most famous, successful, popular, influential people in the world is this fucking dumb.
Just so confused. I mean, he is off the deep end. This is unbelievable. And also him sharing this message without Asmongold's consent is breaking Twitter's terms of service.
Will Elon ever be punished for that? No, of course not. Because rules for me, or rules for thee rather, and not for me. Elon will punish anyone who ever leaks his DMs and be like, well, it's not even a personal thing. I'm not mad at them. It's just like, they broke the X terms of service, so I did what I had to do. It wasn't even my decision. The employees that I've hired did it, and they should have. But meanwhile, he's allowed to spurg out as much as he wants and leak DMs. Fucking retard.
Asmongold's blue check mark. So Elon has to be the most petty man alive, no doubt about it. And also some people claim they're having trouble uploading videos of Asmon criticizing Elon's game.
Bro, you're trying to censor me at Elon Musk? Keemstar? Your video file could not be processed. Please see tips for uploading videos. Asmon's video accusing Elon of faking his gameplay. I would bet the title. I bet Elon has a search ban on Elon and faking his gameplay. Some kind of like behind the scenes bot that he's running so you can't upload videos. That's awesome. That's fire. Base, dude.
Gameplay. So he might have been trying to censor that. I mean, he's basically just falling apart right in front of our eyes. Like, he is so sensitive. He'll also cry about how people make fun of him too much on Twitter, and his mom has to come to his defense sometimes. Like, she was on a show talking about how calling Elon wealthy or a billionaire is degrading, and people should just refer to him as a genius.
Yes, dude.
I don't like the word wealthy or billionaire or things like that because I think it's degrading. I think he's the genius of the world.
The genius of the world. The genius of the world couldn't understand that Asmongold, in reference to the word editor, was talking about his video editors instead of some kind of guy reviewing and dictating what he cannot say. The fact that Elon even said that makes you think he is projecting and he has some kind of like giant giga rapist handler that is making him say whatever he wants him to say. It's insanity. It is insanity.
And people are loving him for that. They don't, when they see me, they go crazy because I'm his mother. But they love him because of what he does, and they respect him. And
yeah, so poor Elon has people.
Dude, everyone loves Elon. Everyone loves Elon, bro. Everybody recognizes he's the Tony Stark of the world, okay? He's the real Tony Stark. He's building tunnels. He made a cheap flamethrower that he sold at a very overpriced rate, okay? He's amazing, dude. He's amazing.
People calling him wealthy, that must be tough. I mean, I think he's just so used to the positive attention, people praising him everywhere he goes and kissing his ass. He just can't handle any criticism now, and he thinks he can do everything because of people like Joe Rogan. I mean, when Joe talks to him, he treats Elon like he's literally a god. I mean, the first time he talked to him, it was so uncomfortable. Seeing a grown man act like this is just really hard to watch.
But in fairness, to give Joe a little bit of charitability, this is before, I'm sure there were things you could have pointed out that Elon was guilty of even back then. But this was before Elon had been kind of demystified, right? This is kind of during a period when everybody was talking up Elon Musk. Even I, when I first started hearing of Elon Musk, I was like, he's just a genius. And it's not because of anything I'd seen. That was just the perception that had been bestowed upon me by everyone, everywhere, right? Everybody just commonly accepted that as a fact. Like, Elon Musk is Tony Stark. That's just how it is, right? And now, in retrospect, we can see that was all bullshit. But Joe is unwilling to call that out, obviously. And I think there can be something to be said about how, Joe is friends with Elon, so he doesn't want to just shit on him. And Joe isn't a journalist, so he doesn't, he doesn't have some, like, ethical responsibility to shit on him for getting caught cheating in video games. But, like, when he's unwilling to even talk about it, it does make you question, like, what is the legitimacy of this platform, right, as far as honesty and integrity goes.
Like, Joe just kept talking about how Elon is so far above everybody and how he's, like, superior to humans and how dumb Elon makes him feel, which you would think somebody would be uncomfortable about this and they'd be like, all right, man, take it easy. I'm just a person like you. But of course, Elon, he's like, yeah, I'm an alien or I have a mutation or something. And Joe's like, that's what I thought. I always thought you're some superhuman AI creature sent here to help us.
But you must understand there's not a whole lot of human beings like you. You know that, right? So you're an oddity.
Seems, yes.
To chimps like me.
Dude. Elon just accepting this and being like, yeah, I'm fucking based, dude. I'm cool. I'm the Kekistani king. Yeah, I'm a genius. Yeah. I'm quite remarkable. Interesting that you say that. I mean, I've always felt that, but it's interesting people see that now. I'm glad they're coming around.
Some of us are a little more confused. When I watch you doing all these things, I'm like, how does this
Thank you for the donut,
motherfucker
Kira.
have all this time and all this energy and all these ideas, and then people just let him do these things?
Because I'm an alien.
That's what I've speculated.
Yes.
I'm on record saying this in the past.
Like, not that I would ever be glazed this hard, because I am a fucking ape. I am a fucking chimp. But the idea of someone glazing you this hard and just taking it, not being like, yeah, I'm not all that. Like, I've done some cool things, but I'm not like some fucking superhuman. And Elon just takes it and is like, I am awesome. I am Elon Musk, Tony Stark, Reddit king. Like, he just accepts it. He's like, yeah, Joe, keep going, dude, keep going. Oh, interesting. The way you lick the tip is quite interesting. Did you know, Joe, that we actually modeled? Joe Rogan, did you know that we actually modeled the models for the recent SpaceX launch off of my penis? Joe's like, honestly, I didn't even think about that, but I see the resemblance. Just keep going. Keep sucking it down to the base.
It's like maybe an intelligent being that we created, like some AI creature that's superior to people. Maybe you just hang around with us for a little while like you've been doing and then fix a bunch of shit. Maybe that's the way.
I might have some mutation or something like that.
You might. Do you think you do?
Probably.
Do you wonder? Like, you're around normal people?
A mutation? Do you think you have a mutation? Probably, yeah. Probably I have some kind of mutation.
You're like, like, what's up with these boring, dumb motherfuckers?
Look at him trying to think about, while Joe compliments him, look at Elon trying to compliment himself, trying to think of a way he can make himself seem cool in the most Reddit way possible.
Ever?
Not bad for a human.
And it seems like almost every time Elon's mentioned on the podcast, Joe has to start talking about how dumb he feels compared to Elon. It's so cringy. And I think he even did a bit about that in his comedy special. And one time Joe had on somebody who works for Elon at SpaceX, and Joe started doing this whole thing. And you could tell by the end of it, the guy's just thinking, all right, dude, take it easy.
But it's just very confusing to me. I just feel so stupid when I'm around him.
Dude, imagine thinking this low of yourself. Come on.
Like, the conversations I've had with him, I'm like, God damn, I'm dumb.
I doubt that Elon Musk is that many orders of magnitude smarter than Joe Rogan. He is probably, smarter than him at like engineering and, a few different skills, but I doubt he's like that much smarter. I doubt if he did an IQ test, it would be like more than like a 10-point difference. I highly doubt it. I doubt Elon Musk is anywhere near like genius IQ.
No.
You gotta do what you gotta do with what you got.
I won't go
Even this guy's uncomfortable.
that far.
So Elon has to have one of the biggest egos ever at this point, with so many people constantly glazing him every second of every day. I mean, Joe is just absolutely obsessed with the guy, and every single thing Elon does is pure genius, according to Joe. Like, also he thinks Elon is the funniest man alive, which shows why Joe is the worst comedian alive. But when Joe starts talking about how funny Elon's memes and poop emojis and D's nuts jokes are, it's impossible not to get secondhand embarrassment, especially because it always turns into a glazing contest. It's like who can compliment and fawn over Elon the most, which it's impossible to beat Joe, but it's just wild to see two grown men acting like this.
Like, he makes memes. He posts memes. Like, when you post that meme of Bill Gates next to the emoji of a pregnant man and said, when you want to lose a boner real quick.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Dude, there should be a category in the Olympics for Elon Glazers, and you can bring on Joe Rogan's intellectual dark web. That's wild. When he posts the meme of Bill Clinton next to the pregnant emoji and says, when you want to lose a boner, that's so freaking epic. Oh my upvote. Oh my scientifically backed Reddit upvote. Oh, I'm literally coming right now. Like, it's insane. It's insane. This is the level of glazing for another man is like, it's beyond love. They're basically, it's not even marriage. It's like interdimensional soul linking.
Because you can't even say, oh, fuck that guy, he's a dumbass. It's literally one of the smartest human beings alive and the wealthiest man alive.
The one where he was asked for comment by one of these legacy media outlets. I don't know if it was the New York Times, but it might as well have been. And he sent back a poop emoji. And it's like, look, that's a wise move because...
That's a wise move. When he sent back the poop emoji, now that... At first, I thought that's kind of unorthodox to do. I wouldn't expect that. Not the kind of professionalism I would expect from a billionaire. But then I thought, that's a wise move. That's a very smart move. I mean, for a journalist to ask for comment and you respond with a poop emoji, I mean, that is truly in a way that you wouldn't expect. I mean, it's just an intellectual thing. I couldn't have fathomed it. I think he's going to set a new precedent for the way we talk to the media, the mainstream media, which, by the way, is so mainstream that it gets 1/1,000,000th of a percentage of the viewers that the Joe Rogan podcast gets that I'm on right now. It's so genius. I mean, truly, Elon Musk, not only is he a man for the people, not only is he doing all these amazing things, but he's a comedian. I mean, he could do stand-up, and he would be successful at it. He would be amazing at it.
The rules of the game say, he refused to comment.
Right.
But you can't say that if he did comment and it was a poop emoji. You have to report that. So...
Cheerio, my good upvoter. Cheerio.
That was extremely clever.
And he said, Professor, suck on D's nuts.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Elon
he did.
said...
Dude. He said, Professor, suck on D's nuts. No, he did not. No way. Get out of town. Elon Musk said, Professor, suck on D's nuts. Oh, my glorious upvotes. Beautiful. The beauty. The pure beauty being exhibited right now. Oh, my Gaiats. Oh, my peak Kino. Dude, this guy is such a hack. Who is this guy? This is Brett Weinstein or something? I don't know his fucking name. What a fucking cringe lord. Oh, my upvotes.
That's a Gavin Newsom?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yeah. Pull that post up, Jamie. It's so hilarious. He said, Professor, sug on D's nuts.
Even the way Joe says it, dude. He's like, it's so hilarious. He said, Professor, sug on D's nuts. Look at the little smirk he has. He's like, oh my God, dude, that was freaking epic. That was so freaking awesome. Dude, this is gay. This is straight up homosexual love going on right now. Elon is so wholesome, Chungus 100. So Gen X millennial brain is so cringe. Why do these losers act like they're not the mainstream? That's the annoying thing. It's like I'll use the term like the media. And when I say the media, I'll be referring to like the media apparatus around everything, right? And people will be like, Joe Rogan's not the media. He's not the media. He's not mainstream. He's the underground. And it's like, are you aware of the fact that Joe Rogan gets 50 times, it might even been like 100 times the viewership of CNN? One episode of Joe Rogan gets like 100 times the viewership of a CNN broadcast. Joe Rogan is the mainstream. He is the biggest podcaster in the world. He's the biggest show in the world. He's bigger than any news organization. He is mainstream. He is the mainstream. This is the mainstream now. CNN is unironically like the counterculture activists fucking somehow. Okay, paid by the fucking Democratic Party, because I'm sure they are. They very well may be. CNN is like the underground. Joe Rogan is the mainstream. I saw some statistic that was like Kamala Harris would have to appear on CNN for like 12 hours a day for an entire month straight to reach the same viewership that Donald Trump reached with one episode of the Joe Rogan podcast. Like, it's fucking unreal.
Says it's legit and that parody is legal.
Holy
I forget what his
crap.
exact quote was. I'm paraphrasing. I checked with renowned world authority Professor Sugon D's nuts, and he said parody is legal in America.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
We don't deserve him.
We don't deserve him. We truly do not deserve this absolute Reddit king. He's out of this world, dude. Elon Musk is up here. We are down here. We are barely worthy. We are barely worthy to exist in the same world, to breathe the same air as this fucking dork. Like, dude, you got to acknowledge when you're glazing anyone this hard, there's got to be something going on.
Hilarious. What a wild dude.
Wow.
What a wild dude.
Yeah, so Joe's got to be one of the biggest Elon simps. It's pathetic. Like, the guy spends so much time praising Elon, and if you say anything even close to something negative about him on Joe's podcast, he gets all defensive about it. Like, one time Tim Dillon just mentioned how Elon loves attention, which is undeniable, but Joe, he couldn't admit it and is like, well, that's just what comes with the job, you know? And Tim...
It's not. There are so many billionaires who do not do the cringe shit Elon does in the way that he does it, okay? Even Mark Zuckerberg, okay, as cringe as he's been recently, is not even close to the same level of Elon Musk in terms of absolute cringe behavior. He's not even 1% of the way there. Elon is addicted to it. The idolatry is crazy. It is crazy. It's embarrassing. Going to my local Lego store, you need anything? Could you give me the new Arc 170 Starfighter? Looks like a good set despite what they're saying out there. I think it's a good set and I would like it, so pick me that up, please.
He says, well, there are plenty of rich people that aren't tweeting all day. And Joe's response is, well, they're not building rockets and cars and digging tunnels. So it's like, all right.
The tunnels. What is with this tunnel glazing? He's like, he built a fucking tunnel. I can build a tunnel in my backyard right now. Am I going to get on Joe Rogan?
So you're saying Elon, he needs to be tweeting memes and poop emojis all day and playing video games because he's running a bunch of different companies at once? I mean, it sounds like that's what Joe's trying to say here, which that just makes me think maybe Elon isn't spending much time on these companies anymore. I mean, the guy probably spends like 8 hours a day just on Twitter, and that's not an exaggeration. I mean, he's tweeting all day long.
There's such a vast chasm between people that have a lot of money and the people of nothing, right?
Right.
And he's become kind of a symbol of that. So is Bezos, because they're literally now flying rockets.
No, you don't understand. Elon Musk is not like Bezos. Don't you dare say that. Bezos is cringe. Elon Musk is based. Do you see Bezos saying Professor Sugon D's on Twitter? Do you see Bezos responding to the New York Times with a poop emoji? No, didn't think so. Elon Musk is here for the people. He's not a part of that cringe billionaire class. Bill Gates hasn't been on my podcast. Therefore, he fucking sucks.
Into space.
Yeah.
So all the while you have all of these other problems and all of these other issues. So, you know, obviously people are going to, and I think he likes the attention. This is not a guy that doesn't want to be famous. He loves fame, 100%. You don't agree?
I don't know if he loves it. I think it comes with the job, and I don't think.
Then why is he going on your podcast all the time? Why would he need to go on your podcast to continue running Tesla and SpaceX? How does that come with the job? How does him coming on your fucking podcast and talking about how good he is at Diablo, how does that benefit him? How does that come with the job, Joe Rogan? Please analyze this critically. I'm asking you. I don't even think Joe Rogan's that dumb. I think he's blinded by the people around him. I don't even think he's that dumb. I think he's just a part of this weird media ecosystem that can't stop Sugon D's, D's referring to Elon Musk's asshole, which he can't stop spewing retarded shit out of and unfunny memes. At least Bezos has a hilarious evil laugh, befitting of an evil overlord. True. IRL Lex Luthor.
Oh, I think he quite enjoys that. I mean, he seems to have
he
fun.
Pursues it? He definitely has
I
fun,
think he
but
pursues
he has
it.
fun with a lot of things.
Is Warren Buffett tweeting every day like this?
No, but Warren Buffett is not also inventing 50 different things at the same time.
What is Elon Musk inventing? What has Elon Musk ever invented? What technology has he invented? He made a shitty car company. I guess to give him credit, it is a very influential car company that did a lot for the Americans' perception of electric cars or something. I don't like his cars very much. I don't think he's invented very much at all. I don't think he's actually invested anything. Do you wipe standing or sitting? The real question. I think like slightly squatted maybe, but I don't think like full on standing. I wouldn't say I stand up to wipe my ass.
He's a multi-billionaire. I mean,
He is, but he's an investor.
Sure.
Elon Musk is digging tunnels under cities and shooting rockets into
Where are the
space and
tunnels?
revolutionizing
Yeah, but
electric cars.
where are the tunnels?
Well, there's one from Vegas to LA. Have you seen it?
I've not seen it.
The space stuff is cool. To give him credit, the space stuff is actually cool. I think going to space is cool. almost no matter what way you cut it, I think it is based. That's cool.
And we don't need one.
And you can tell Tim isn't the biggest fan of Elon. And of course, Joe gets all defensive about it, because nobody could ever criticize his god, Elon. I mean, even Tim just saying he likes attention is too much for Joe. And it causes him to feel the need to go through Elon's whole resume once again, like he does every other podcast. I mean, it's just so pathetic. And I guarantee Tim, probably along with all of Joe's other comedy friends, would love to be roasting Elon all the time on their podcast, because the guy's like a cringe merchant. It's probably hard not to make fun of him, but since they need Rogan and they're friends with him, they're probably nervous about upsetting him. But recently Tim actually has started to make fun of Elon more, and it sounds like he gets what's going on. Like recently,
Tech people celebrating nothing, the Tim Dillon show, number 43. That is actually interesting. Tim Dillon seems pretty funny from everything I've seen of him. I'm not like a huge stand-up guy, but when I've seen podcasts of him, he seems mildly funny and interesting enough to listen to that I can sit through a podcast with him. He's not that bad. From the Roganverse, people I think would be like, I like Dave Chappelle. He's funny. I like Shane Gillis. I like Tim Dillon. There's probably a few other outliers here and there, but definitely a lot of them that are coming on these shows all the time are fucking cringe lords.
he said the tech elites are just using Trump to further their companies and ideas, and they don't actually care about Americans. And he said they're not excited about America, they're excited about leaving Earth. And Tim is the perfect person to roast Elon, because he's also known for his rants about Bill Gates and George Soros and people like that. He'll go off about how Bill Gates wants to shoot dust particles at the sun. And he explained this to Rogan one time, and he's obviously freaked out like anybody would be. But it's just funny that with Bill Gates wanting to shoot dust particles at the sun, Joe's like, man, that's crazy. He just expects us to be like, yeah, go ahead and do it. You got enough money, do whatever you want. But then when Elon Musk explains to Joe that he wants to nuke Mars, Joe has nothing to say about it.
But you don't understand, dude. By the way, I don't think that Elon even really wants to nuke Mars. I think this is just a bullshit thing he says for publicity, but for like articles to be written about it, so that his glazers can be like, well, you see, it may be controversial, but it actually be quite interesting in terms of terraforming Mars and turning it into a habitable place for us, for all of us. Okay, it'd actually be quite good. It's quite cool. Did you know that the sun is actually a giant thermonuclear reactor in the sky, dude? You know that? Fucking based, dude. Absolutely based. I think that's why he says that. But that aside, Joe's response in his head internally is like, well, Elon's not like that. He's, he supports Trump, and he's kind of based, and he's, he posts funny memes. Like, you would never see Bill Gates. You would never see Bill Gates post a Pepe. You know about Pepe? You kids heard about Pepe? Don't know if you know this. I just found out who Pepe is. Turns out he came out yesterday from the Based factory. And it turns out when you go to the Based department, everyone there has seen Elon Musk there yesterday.
People want to make decisions for all of us, like Bill Gates, like one of the wackiest.
It's literally impossible to live on Mars. It has no ionosphere. Hey, Ludwig Horsecock in chat. Clearly, you don't understand how much of a genius Elon Musk truly is. He can get anything done. He can do literally anything. He is a fucking genius. He is an absolute genius, okay?
Ones he's talking about, like blocking the sun, putting particles in the sky to block the sun to cool the earth. Like, hey, Ken, there's a whole lot of people on Earth. You don't get to say for all of us. You don't get to talk for all of us just because you have $100 billion. That's crazy talk.
Right.
That's what people are scared of. And how would you warm it up?
Well, there's a few ways to tackle that problem. You could just have it just do giant thermonuclear explosions every few seconds. The sun is a giant thermonuclear reactor in the sky.
And the craziest...
Look, guys, I'm as much of a genius as he is. I said the word thermonuclear reactor, okay? I'm a genius. I'm an absolute genius, just like him. I'm actually on his side now.
Thing to me is Joe Rogan, who's friends with a bunch of billionaires and arguably some of the most powerful people on the planet, will still say,
I feel like a bunch of people just think that Elon is really, really intelligent because he uses a lot of big words that aren't even like that hard to grasp for the average person. Like thermonuclear reactor is not that out of the grasp for the average person's vocabulary, but because he uses them so frequently, people are like, oh my god, he's so literate, he's a fucking genius.
Say stuff like this on his podcast.
If you're running corporations and you're making billions of dollars, you're going to get bored. What's the ultimate game? The ultimate game is to run the whole world. What people are scared of is that when you really do have ultimate money and ultimate power, with most people, there's this desire to control people.
Right. So what guy with ultimate money and ultimate power is trying to control people? Is it the multi-billionaire who decided to buy the biggest quote-unquote free speech platform on the entire internet and then start censoring his opposition? Seems kind of weird. Seems like something that like George Soros would do, right? Seems like something that like some kind of nefarious, shady behind the scenes guy would do. But when Elon Musk does it, it's to promote freedom of speech.
It's part of the gig. You start
like Elon Musk is everything that everybody has been saying George Soros is for so long.
Controlling people.
Yeah.
There's like people like to pull strings on people.
Yeah, so I guess Joe, he's friends with the good billionaires. You know, all the other ones, they're trying to control people in the world. But Elon Musk, the richest man alive, he's just doing everything to help Americans, and he has their best interest in mind. I mean, Rogan acts like everything Elon does is just a selfless act for humanity, when in reality, everything he does is to gain more power, money, influence, and further his businesses. Like with Twitter, Joe has people convinced Elon buying Twitter was a risky move, and he just did it to save free.
Do any of the people who listen to Rogan actually use Twitter and see the shit that's going on there? Because I can't imagine that any of them would be able to stand for what Rogan says about Elon and his constant glazing, while also simultaneously knowing about the fact that Elon is censoring his political opposition when they disagree with him. Like literally banning their accounts, getting their check marks taken away, right? Like there's no way that these people will be able to have these two congruent thoughts in their head. So they must just get their entire world opinions and views from what Joe Rogan says is happening to the outside world and just trust that. That must be it.
Free speech, and if he didn't do it, we were heading down a path of censorship and controlled narratives. But there's still a ton of censorship on there, maybe more than ever. And the reason he bought Twitter is so he can control the narrative and manipulate the algorithm and collect everybody's data. Like, since Elon bought Twitter, his net worth has doubled, and he's going to be a trillionaire soon. And he has a huge influence on the president. Like, he's with Trump 24/7. But we're expected to believe him buying Twitter, that was a selfless move. And the best part is Elon would complain about buying Twitter and talk about how it's tough to make money on his investment. Like on Rogan's podcast, he said it's a tough way to make a living. Imagine that, the richest man on the planet complaining about how he's having a tough time making money with one of his businesses to a bunch of people who can barely even afford to.
Well, you have to understand, he did it because he's a selfless guy. He did it. He's a selfless guy. He knew it would be a losing business strategy, but he did it because he's so selfless. He wanted to restore the Americans' right to freedom of speech. That's why. That's why, dude. That's why, clearly.
To survive. I mean, it's crazy, especially considering he's using the platform to collect everybody's data and gain even more influence on us and more control in the world.
Thank you so much for buying Twitter. Thank
welcome.
you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm not exaggerating.
Thank you so much. Dude, he's fucking, not only is he going down to the base, he's swirling his tongue around the tip. He is spitting on it ferociously. He's calling Elon daddy while thanking him for the opportunity to suck on his South African cock. He's so glad.
When I think
Get on your knees, Joe. He's on his knees. He's been on his knees for years.
you changed the course of history. I really do. I really think you made a fork in the road. We were headed down a path of censorship and of control of narratives that is unprecedented. Forget about what they were able to do back when they had newspapers and the media under control.
I mean, the reason I did the Twitter acquisition was like, it's like, man, if I don't do this, I think we're screwed, is the issue.
Well, if you didn't do it, no one else was going to do it because it wasn't a financial winner. It was kind of a crazy move.
It's a crazy move. I mean, the thing was way overpriced. You know, like long term, I think we can ultimately make it a win for investors. But boy, this is a hard way to make a living.
Yeah, so I'm glad Elon's having an easier time making a living now.
Dude, he looks so weird, too. Look at his weird, fucked up face. He looks like he's wearing someone else's skin. He looks like that guy from Men in Black that's secretly like a giant bug, and he's like wearing a dude's skin. That's what this guy looks like.
Now, I was worried about him for a second. But what's wild to see is...
Yeah, now we're just on a different path of censorship. Like, old Twitter under Jack Dorsey was cringe, but I feel like Jack Dorsey, at the very least, was thinking about the philosophical problems of censoring versus not censoring. I don't think Elon even considers that. I think for Elon, it's just, I'm going to use the political base that exists out there, the MAGA guys, the right-wing guys who are anti-censorship. I'm going to use that base to get what I want, and if they disagree with me, I'm going to ban them right away.
Alex Jones is even selling out to Elon now. You know, he's kissing the ring, probably because he's nervous about upsetting Elon and getting kicked off Twitter. But it's just crazy to see because Elon is everything Alex would complain about and still complains about. I mean, he's a transhumanist, technocrat, globalist who's putting chips in people's brains, trying to develop mind reading, collecting our data to use for AI, and trying to control the media and narrative to further his agenda. And he's trying to nuke Mars so he can start a civilization there, which sounds like everything Alex would warn us about.
And the elites themselves believe they're racing using...
I mean, Alex Jones, like, I feel like calling Alex Jones a hypocrite is like like he's just retarded. He's a fucking moron. You know what I mean? Like expecting consistency from Alex Jones is like expecting consistency from a baby, a literal baby.
Human technology.
At least he's funny. At least he's actually funny compared to Elon Musk.
To try to take our best minds and build.
Alex Jones is 100% an act. It's hard for me to tell how much it is. I will say when I went down to with Destiny to do a video with him, there you go, clip that. When I went down on Destiny to do a video with him, when I went down to Texas with Destiny and we filmed him debating Alex Jones, Alex, before he was on the air, was super nice, super normal, super kind, like not weird at all. Was like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. I like your InfoWars shirt. We have snacks in the break room. We're going to be on the air pretty soon. See you soon. As soon as he was on the air, he turned into a fucking lunatic. Literally the second they said we're live, he turned into an absolute nut job right away. It was literally seeing an actor. Now, as far as like how much of it is an act, like are his opinions an act versus is the way he expresses his opinions an act as an entertainer? It's hard for me to figure out which one it is. I don't really know. I can't read his mind. But yeah, that's when I met him, he was very like, how was he after the debate? Totally normal. As soon as the debate got off, he was like, that was a great conversation. Destiny, thank you so much for coming on. That was fire content. Almost verbatim. That's what he said.
Some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man. First, artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity, with billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time that's also psychically connected to us, that are organic creatures. And so then it's...
This is all stuff that Elon Musk would say, but spinning it in a positive light. Yeah, once again, as I said before, Elon Musk is everything they say that George Soros is. He wants to put microchips in people's fucking heads. He wants to go to fucking Mars and nuke it. He bought a giant media output platform, being Twitter, and then started censoring people for disagreeing with him. And he used that platform to astroturf for president, okay? I think Trump could have won without Twitter. I'm not saying that people didn't vote for him legitimately. But what I am saying is like Elon 1000% was trying to do that with his acquisition of Twitter, and it worked. There's no doubt about it.
It's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know, and a true 2.0 in a very bad way, hive mind consciousness.
At least George Soros isn't posting fucking cringe Reddit memes, as far as I know. At least he's not saying "Sug on D's nuts" with Joe Rogan being like, oh, like a freaking narwhal. Come on.
With an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams.
So now seeing Alex defend Elon and praise him is just unbelievable. And Alex had a meltdown over it because he knows he sold out and is supporting the globalists now. But it's hilarious. You know, he's trying to convince people that Elon is the one fighting the globalists, and he's trying to expose Epstein. That's why people are attacking him, which is just ridiculous. I mean, Trump and Elon are in power now. Are we going to see that Epstein list? No chance. I hope I'm wrong, but I highly doubt it. You know, I doubt two people who are tied to Epstein and P. Diddy want that list out. And I'm sure we're going to stop hearing about Epstein now. You know, everybody who's been questioning the story and talking about how we need the list exposed, they're going to stop talking about it now. But yeah, Alex Jones, he had a meltdown recently because he knows he's supporting a globalist.
What the hell? And he's exposing Jeffrey Epstein and the CIA. Hell, last week he put out tweets about the CIA at war with America. God almighty, Jones sold out retweeting that. God, I apologize to all of you. I'm sorry. I sold out. I tried to stop the oil rigs, the giant Muslim kidnapping rings. I'm sorry.
I mean, at least he's funny. You know, once again, at least he's like mildly funny to listen to. That's the only thing I'll give Alex Jones a break on. He's very funny. Soros died a week ago, did he? If that's what they want you to think. Wow, looks like he's still alive. You were wrong. He's 94 years old. Maybe he did die a week ago, and they don't want us to know that he's dead. Maybe that's it.
I kissed Elon Musk's ass. We're so close.
Alex just doesn't care, dude. Alex knows. Maybe you're right. Maybe Alex does know he's a fraud. The way he responds to it makes you think he just genuinely doesn't give a fuck.
To getting the globalist. I want their throat. I want victory. And now.
Has he lost weight? He looks a lot thinner.
Oh, you can see it.
His head looks way less circular. It looks like it's getting cylindrical again, like a normal person.
And you guys think you're going to harass Elon Musk and push him off of supporting Trump and divide Trump and Elon? You're not. We have already beaten your ass. Oh, let's continue.
Yeah, so at this rate, Alex is going to be trying to convince people that Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates are fighting the globalists. It's so funny. Like, Trump, he just had a 3-hour meeting with Bill Gates about vaccines. Is Alex just going to ignore that? And right now, it looks like the people pulling the strings of the Trump administration are going to be a bunch of technocrat globalists like Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Mark Andreessen, Dave.
Yeah, all people who have our best interests at heart, I'm sure. Interesting video, but too lazy to try. Good that he got it all together. I think I just don't understand how you can respect Elon Musk by any metric at this point. The guy is an absolute clown. One of the wildest things about McClown, his seduction game includes a blow dryer blasting his hair for that effortless charm. Oh, I know all about it, dude. I've seen that Louis McClung uses the fan to make his hair blow. It's unreal. He does it in a ton of videos. I think he only didn't do it in the most recent video he did because people pointed it out, but yes, he does it. It's very strange. It's very fucking strange, dude.
Bitch, I'm Tom Dark, but my dick is quite light. And this girl that's on my dick, she is not quite right. She's black. You can twist it up and play with it. Whoa. Make a motherfucking movie, Michael Bay with it. Whoa. Gonna promise you not dealing with a baby dick. No. There's a big white cop in your radius.